welcome to the Kurt Locker, a podcast where we chronologically step through and discuss each film starring Kurt Russell. My name is Andrew Gormley, and I am one of your hosts. Today, I am joined by my co-host. If she never sees another couple from Massachusetts, it'll be too soon. Lindsey Nelson.
Massholes, as my cousin refers to them, who lives in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's right. We can all relate, you know?
I mean, I don't know that I actually have anything against Massachusetts people, but I've probably not met enough to have formed a concrete opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it's easy to judge based on a few bad apples, potentially. But overall, I feel like the energy in Boston and Philadelphia there might be a little bit of an overlap there. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but it's
some
certainly
similarities, maybe.
It feels true. It feels true in my soul. How are you?
I'm good. It's hot, but it's also August, so it's normally hot.
That's true. I wanted to follow up on our last episode. We did Escape from LA. You were not on that episode, but I wanted to know if you watched it and what you thought if you did.
I did watch it,
yes.
And Eric was correct in his guess that what I was remembering was a clip from Mad Max Thunderdome and not Escape from LA. I had never seen any of Escape from LA before.
Okay.
So I was correct in that it was Tina Turner, but I was wrong about the movie.
That's right.
I mean, I felt pretty similar to the opinions expressed in the episode in that it is much dorkier than Escape from New York.
Sure.
But also very enjoyable. Like, it is wild. It was really a first thought, best thought kind of movie, right? Like,
well said.
So, but that's how you get things like Bruce Campbell being a surgeon for, the plastic surgery addicted zombies in Beverly Hills and surfing down I don't even, catching a car by surfing a big wave and having a big hang gliding fight at what used to be Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fun. Cannot take, it is not a movie you can approach seriously, but if you are in the mood for a movie like that, then it is very enjoyable.
It works great. Yeah. I'm not a person that really chases the numbers of the podcast. We do okay. I'm going to say between Cool Breeze and Kurt Locker, we do okay. I would say that we're in a pretty good echelon in terms of subscribers and downloads and all that stuff. Escape from LA got a lot of downloads. And then subsequently, after receiving those downloads, the overall reviews went down 0.2 of a point. And I don't know if that's because
people were not happy with the opinions. Or...
Yeah, it could be because I put it too high on my list, but I feel like it's right where it belongs. You can't trust me with this sort of thing. So
personal opinion lists,
I know, but people take other people's opinions very seriously.
They take umbrage. I also agreed with Whitney. I was very excited to see Ensign Rolaren, who I also had a crush on, but was very sad to see her working for a fascist government, considering, as Ensign obviously I understand the actress is not, but her character that I first grew to know and love her as was a very anti-fascist government radical. So
I had to look that because I'm not that's a Star Trek, right?
Yes, Star Trek TNG specifically. The Next Generation.
Not familiar with that material, but I did while I was editing the episode, I was like, I have to look this person up. And I remembered who she was and everything like that. And I was like, where the hell do I know her from? Because obviously you recognize the face. I was like, she worked a lot in the 90s, but I remember her from True Blood, which I don't know if you ever saw that. She was in
Yes, I was on True Blood.
What? Are you freaking kidding me?
I'm a background actor in the church, the culty church that kills vampires. And
oh my fucking God. Hold on.
I'm carrying a cooler of snacks to the lock-in where we're going to kill the church lock-in where we're going to kill the vampire.
I'm noting this down. That's if you hear the wild clicking away. I have to note this down. I'm going to revisit that episode. There we go. Amazing. You learned something. Ladies and gentlemen, we have
in True Blood.
We have Hollywood royalty with us, you see. That's cool as hell, though. I love that. I'm going to go check that out.
Yeah, that was fun in the era when I was doing a lot of background acting. Is just being able to pop up in shows that I really enjoyed like that.
That's huge. You love to hear it. I'm excited to talk about this one. I'm going to get the housekeeping out of the way. I'm going to do the synopsis. And if you could, I would love for you to do the critical and audience reception, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Right out of the gate, I want to mention you can find this, all of our other podcasts at 12and24.com, along with our merch store, which has the best merch. Undeniably, it is the greatest merch of all time. It will last literally for your lifetime, your children's lifetime, and their children's lifetime. So I don't guarantee that, but that's what I've heard. You can email us, kurtlockerpod@gmail.com, or join us on Discord, and you can chat in real time with us. That's 12and24.com/Discord. Please do that. That's like the greatest. We are always in there. At least I am always in there throwing stuff in there. Finally, if you want to support us with just a moment of your time, please share the show with your friends. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts to offset people getting mad about our Escape from LA opinions, if you would like to do so. You could do that on Spotify also, I think. I haven't checked the Spotify ratings. I imagine we're probably in that same range where we are on Apple Podcasts. But there you go. That brings more folks into the fray. That's great. Lindsey, two things I'd like to talk about before we get into this is, one, are you a fan of the Yellowstone cinematic universe?
I have not. I am aware of the Yellowstone cinematic universe. I have not really dipped much into the Yellowstone cinematic universe. My sort of general understanding is that it's very dynasty, but like ranch American individualist exceptionalism sort of based.
Sure.
So, but I do not have much. I've never watched an episode. I've only seen pieces. So
we're in the same boat. So I can't speak eloquently about Yellowstone in particular. I am a huge fan of Taylor Sheridan, who is the writer, or I guess he's the showrunner or the creator of Yellowstone. He had a series of movies, a run of films that I thought were amazing. He did Sicario, Hell or High Water, and then Wind River before he moved on, or I guess in tandem with Yellowstone potentially. I don't know what the exact timeline is. So I really am a fan of his films, at least, you know. Yeah,
no, there's some good people working on it. And very talented, like, crew and actors. I know one of the assistant ADs working on it, so I really should watch it sometime.
Yeah, right? It's so the news comes out that Kurt will probably be joining this universe for some sort of contemporary spin-off show from Yellowstone. So I just thought that was worth noting. That's kind of fun. I'll probably check it out just for the Kurt of it all. You know, that sounds pretty neat. I
actually thought it was a jump back into the past.
Oh, maybe it is. They had the one that's in like the late 1800s, like the two spinoffs before. The one had Harrison Ford, and I feel like that was in the 20s. And then there was one that was in the 1800s, and I can't remember who was in that. But they do get incredible talent for these shows, like really god tier actors. So. And Kevin Costner obviously is the guy on Yellowstone, or was the guy on Yellowstone, I guess, right? So
is the lead, I think,
before a huge falling out or something along those lines. And then the other little bit of news, I posted this in the Discord. It went unnoticed, or if it was noticed, it went uncommented on. So I just thought I would have to bring it up here again. And that is, in an interview with Wyatt Russell, Kurt's son, he was asked, "What's your favorite movie of your dad's?" And he responded, "Used cars. Let's go." Justice for used cars.
I mean, sure.
It is.
Again, everybody's allowed to have their own opinions. It would not be my favorite Kurt Russell movie, but it can totally be Wyatt's.
That's truly the most unhinged response he could have given, in fairness. It
just seemed like a very random pick. Like that almost, and it might not, he could genuinely love that movie.
It's possible.
But it just feels like the fact that he picks a different random one every time he gets asked that question is the vibes that gives to me. But he could genuinely think that's his dad's best film.
I mean, I certainly hope not. I mean, it's fine. It's Robert Zemeckis. It's fine. They jumped a car over a train. I'll say it every time. They literally jumped a car over a train. That's incredible stunt work. And then beyond that, the movie it's fine. So it is just very funny that was the one that popped to mind, at least in this interview. You can check that out on our Discord. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes for this episode too. So that's neither here nor there. There's a little bit of Kurt news. I thought that'd be really fun to talk about. So let's move on. Today, on this episode, we are going to be talking about the film Breakdown.
A leisurely cross-country trip.
What the hell?
What did you do?
Hang on, I can't steer.
An unexpected breakdown.
Can you believe this?
A helpful passerby.
Folks all right?
Our car broke down.
I can give you a ride to Bell's, a little diner about 5 miles down the road. They got a payphone. You call a tow truck. They just come in and haul you out.
It could happen to anyone.
Excuse me. I was supposed to meet my wife here. She's dark-haired, about 5'5".
Doesn't ring a bell.
The plot synopsis from IMDb is, a man searches for his missing wife after his car breaks down in the middle of the desert. This movie was written by Jonathan, I'm going to say Mostow. Looks like Moscow,
Mostow
but
would
with
be
a
my
T.
guess. Yeah.
Mostow, and Sam Montgomery, and directed by Jonathan Mostow. Co-starring alongside Kurt R., J.T. motherfucking Walsh, Kathleen Quinlan, MC Gainey, Jack Noseworthy, and Rex Lynn. Lindsay, what do the critics and audiences have to say about Breakdown?
Well, the critics are much higher on this movie at 83% than the audience, who only gives it 68%. Not what I would have expected.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. So Peter Stack of the San Francisco Chronicle gave it 4 out of 4 stars and said, a 96-minute thrill ride that twists and turns before accelerating into a wonderfully overwrought finale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. And user Aisha B set 4 out of 5 stars and says, story is short and simple. The wife disappears and Kurt Russell needs to find her in the desert backcountry. Simple, taunt, and gripping. It isn't Shakespeare, but I'm not sure why these movies cannot be written anymore. There was a very similar film recently, Last Seen Alive, which has a very similar plot, but not as gripping as this one. So contradicts themselves in their own review, because starts by saying these movies can't be written anymore, and then says, there was one like it just recently.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, spoilers for Last Seen Alive, I guess, first of all.
Yeah. We have a very special listener, Claire's mom, review this time.
I have not listened to this. So we're experiencing this live for the first time together. So I think this is going to be really special. So here is an audio review from Claire's mom, and I believe with a special appearance from Claire.
Excellent.
That is a void point. That is not... Technology. Okay, here we go.
My favorite moment was when she pushed the truck down on the guy in the river. Because there was no one with a soul in this movie at all. Kurt Russell looking down through that crack in the barn. She looked up, saw those eyes, said, he'll save me. It was all good. Really scary film.
Yeah, starts out pretty realistic too. People do disappear hitchhiking.
Yes, how about that wall of disappearing things? But my favorite part was when she pushed the truck down on the guy in the river. Talk about his eyes.
I wonder how much Death Proof was intending to rely on the idea that people had seen this movie.
Oh, I don't think they thought people had seen this movie. I think they thought Quentin Tarantino had seen this movie. Quentin Tarantino just likes to make movies that are based on movies he has seen and then make everybody else go take a film course.
It was really scary, and I wish she hadn't gotten in that truck.
There it is. That's Claire's mom.
Yeah. That's Claire's whole family, it sounds like. I think that's Claire's dad, Claire's mom, Claire.
Yeah, that's the whole Claire crew. Well done. You know, in my head, that's exactly how I thought Claire's mom like when I read her written reviews, right? That's how I read them in my head. That's great. It's great to feel validated like that. All right, so we've heard from the critics who seem to be pretty hot on this movie. We've heard from an audience, someone, just a random user who seems also like, pretty high on it. We've heard from Claire's mom.
She
Lindsay,
likes when she drops the truck on it.
Who loves that part, the finale. Lindsay, first of all, had you seen Breakdown prior to this?
I'd never even heard of Breakdown prior to this. This was a movie that I was completely unaware of its existence until, the list for this podcast. And so I did not have any idea what I was getting into. I had no preconceived notions about this movie. I will say the first half of it kept reminding me of, have you seen Steven Spielberg's first feature film, The Duel?
I don't think so. It didn't immediately pop for me, so I couldn't say.
It is very interesting, and really, I think for people trying to start making their own movies. I mean, obviously this had a budget because it had like a truck and but a very good of like how you could make a compelling movie with very little.
Yeah.
But it's filmed all in the same area. These are both in like the San Bernardino Mountains, and they both kept pinging for me that like I kept recognizing places where they were. Similar start in that this guy is driving, he's from LA and he's driving over the mountains to have a meeting with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets annoyed at this big tanker truck that's like going too slow and belching out all this exhaust. So he like puts on speed and cuts around it, passes someplace where he's not supposed to. And that triggers him being hunted by this tanker truck for like the rest of the day, and like a cat and mouse game on the roads, the back roads of like San Bernardino Mountain.
Huh.
It has that same like country folk versus city folk vibe of like, you're an outsider here, so you can't trust anybody. Like, until we get to the second part of this movie, which is much more Taken, I was like, this is incredibly similar to The Duel.
Wow,
But
that's kind of neat. Okay.
yeah, interesting movie, and just like a very good escalation of storytelling in The Duel. This one I also thought was like, this one a little bit more uneven in parts, but also interestingly doing a lot with a little and really letting like the environment work for you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say, I think this one, because of the conspiracy elements and a little bit some of the back and forth, I think this one had certain parts where it like dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it is a pretty tight like overall runtime, but there were some parts that felt redundant. You know, I felt like we'd been here before when he's like wildly driving around, looking for things.
Got to pad this very lean runtime of just 96 minutes or whatever it is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's very, and I think that there were, this is one of those movies, and we're getting this a lot in Kurt Russell's filmography, where I would like the women to do anything. Like, I agree with Claire's mom in that moment when she drops the truck on him is like the most definitive character moment she has. I think that's part of the reason why it hits so hard. It's not just like him falling off a bridge is not enough to make sure he's not going to horror movie rise again and continue coming after us. But
Sure.
of her making a definitive action for the first freaking time in the movie, like everything else is just her. And we're following Kurt Russell. So like, we don't know what's going on in most of the movie. She's kidnapped, presumably in that bag we see her in like the whole rest of the time or whatever. But like, even when they're driving away, they're running away, she's not doing anything. He's trying to drive and shoot a gun. She can't take the gun. You can't give her the gun.
Yeah.
Like,
shoot this guy.
The inaction of women in this movie in general, we only really see like 3 women. We see her.
Mm-hmm.
We see the wife of the main trucker villain.
Yeah.
And we see the drunk woman at the like diner.
Right. In the bathroom. Yeah.
And they're all super passive and reactive, like to stuff that's going on around them. Nobody's taking it. And it's frustrated me. Like, and I see just too many Kurt Russell movies where this is the case. Like,
God damn it.
Maybe because we've had so much Carpenter, and as much as I love John Carpenter, that man cannot write a woman to save his freaking life. Like, and he never has them doing anything, and he always has them be, anyways. But it's just frustrating, that you could have had this same movie and her be like a little bit more engaged, The level of victiminess is just really frustrating.
Yeah. Well, I had seen this movie, but I only remembered broad strokes. Like, it was one of these things where like it started to come back to me as I watched more of it, but I could never figure out like exactly what was going to happen next. I was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh yeah. Like, I had thought in my head that the wife played a more significant fighting for her life role on the other side of the story.
Yeah,
I feel
she
like I
should
remembered a
have.
better story than it turned out being, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it would have made this a much better movie if you even just a little bit. You don't have to just giving some. Yeah. And of course, we're falling on all of the tropes of like the 80s and 90s of filmmaking, of the fact that they like threaten sexual violence and like all of this kind of stuff. It's so repetitive. And, when he's describing the main trucker guy to like get Kurt Russell's character riled up and like, like describing her as like 115 pounds, 5 or 6 pounds of pure tit with like curly brown hair on the
JT
top
Walsh,
and the bottom or whatever. And it's like,
show.
yeah, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah.
Like his wife doesn't do anything. Like they show up, she does a little bit of nagging and then she goes to make breakfast when he shows up, and it's framed as nagging. When he's showing up at like 5 a.m, when he's not supposed to be home for another week and like waking their son up and stuff. Very legitimate things to be annoyed about. But then she just goes in and like makes pancakes for the other guys.
That's all he says. He's like, the boys are coming over. Why don't you go start breakfast? And I'm like, motherfucker, you go start breakfast. I don't know.
But I mean, even just they did a better job with male characters who had equally small parts, making them feel more interesting and compelling. Like the guy who plays a mentally impaired guy at the diner to like lure him into where they wanted to go and then later pulls the hat off and he's like an active part of the scheme or whatever.
Yeah.
He doesn't have more lines really. Maybe a little bit more than the wife, but like fairly equivalent to Kurt Russell's wife, Jeff's wife, not the trucker's wife. She has like 2 lines. But you get way more of a sense of individual character from him than you do from her. Like the donut conversation is basically as much character as she has. And that's just to set up the $90,000 thing later on. Like,
so ham-fisted. You're like, well, whatever. That was the thing. I was like, well, whatever this is set up for something later. Like you don't just.
Yeah.
I guess that's like a real like that's something you might talk about in real life. Like, look at this, 90,000 donuts. That's hilarious. But it's like, we only have 90 minutes here, guys. What the fuck are we doing talking about?
Yeah. Well, you knew when there was the shot when the car was in the river and he's pulling himself out of the river and there's just like a shot of the donuts floating down. You're like, okay, in case you weren't sure. Yeah, there was a thought of it. Like, in case you weren't sure that this is going to be a callback, we want to make sure you remember these donuts before we do it.
Luckily, he caught a glimpse of those donuts floating away. Otherwise, he'd be in real trouble.
But, I did think that the cinematography was good. They really made use of the environment and the landscapes really well. It feels very isolating. It feels very hostile, but it's still very pretty, like a lot of the time, too. And like I said, I just had fun recognizing locations. I was like, oh, they're at the San Gorgonio River. Like, this is where I did think that was one move that totally surprised me when he drove the car. They have him cornered at where the road, and he drives the car off the edge of the road and into the river.
Yes.
And then his Jeep is just floating down the river. I was like, well, I did not see that move coming.
Yeah, that was I was like, up until this point, it also was an ad for how reliable a Jeep might be, maybe, I don't know. Like it was, they featured that thing pretty prominently.
Well, and they talked about how nice it was multiple times and how much money they spent on it. But they did make it seem easily sabotageable.
That's true. Who among us isn't easily sabotageable, though, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And that it might like draw unwanted attention because it's so fancy if you drive it in,
in the
rural areas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this had very like, and I don't know that but it had very like made for TV movie vibes for me, but I don't think it was a bad version of that, Yeah. Except for my frustration with the female characters. But what did you think? Did this movie work for you?
I want to call out something that you just talked about that I think is definitely worth noting. The cinematography of this movie, specifically like what really struck me was in the house at the final scenes in the house where it's like kind of like dusk outside, but just the way the house was lit and shot. So this cinematographer also was responsible for Full Metal Jacket and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which I'm like, oh wow, they really got the guy, right? Like those are two great.
Those are two great visual movies. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's, so I had looked that up afterwards. So we're simpatico about that. Like I was like, wow, it's a very good looking movie, right?
Yeah. That's what popped most for me.
Yeah. It's also the second movie of Kurt's to prominently feature CB radios, which I love. So, or just noting
lots of trucks, lots of CBs in his filmography. Yes,
I was like, if we get a reference to the Pork Chop Express, I'm gonna flip the fuck out.
If they were making this movie today, we would have gotten a reference to that, but we weren't quite as meta yet then.
Okay, so 90 minutes, let's go. Love that. As soon as I sat down, I hit play. It's on Amazon Prime. It's, it's 90 minutes. I'm like, if we're scoring it out of 10, the fact that it's 90 minutes gets me to 5, right? I'm like, okay,
yeah.
That's great. This is one of those movies that you can't do easily today because a cell phone solves a lot of this, right? And
although you are dealing with areas where there isn't always cell phone coverage.
That's true.
That is the thing that rural, middle of desert stuff still does get you.
Yeah, that's true. It's always if we make a contemporary movie, it's always how do we remove cell phones from the equation first?
Right. In a realistic way so that this isn't going to come up.
So I get it. That's fine. Yeah. And I thought that might be the case. He has his chunky ass 90s cell phone that does not work. And I don't think those things worked great even in the best of places. So
yeah,
there is that. I had this very, very strange experience where I was calling out all of this bullshit along the way, but it was very intentional. It was like, oh, this police officer is fucking useless, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. They need to get him out of the way. Then they pull that trick where the police are in on it, bro, which I don't think they were actually because he shot the cop.
No, I think that was because that guy was in on it. That's the guy who was luring him to the spot. I think he was telling him that so that he would go himself and not contact the cops. So I don't think the cops were in on it.
Yeah.
I just think you have two police officers covering a huge expanse of territory.
Yeah.
And not necessarily wanting to drive 45 minutes to check something out.
Exactly. And so there was that. I'll put that one aside. That's my bad. But everyone was sus AF. I'm like, everyone in this diner, prior to realizing that, again, they're all kind of in on this thing, I'm like, I don't like anybody in this diner. This is the least helpful diner owner in the world, right?
That was actually one of the things that reminded me so strongly of Duel, because there is a similar diner situation in Duel where he comes in and he feels very outsidery, very unwelcome, and everybody in the diner is very unhelpful.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, there was a lot of stuff that the movie did purposely that, annoyed me, and how, I guess, in retrospect, you were supposed to know that it was obvious, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's oh, watch it again with the new knowledge that you have. And it's all, it's all right, that's fine.
It's still leading you by the hand pretty strongly.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I had a lot of fun with this movie, though. Beyond the inciting incident of, even in the 90s when this was made, it was probably not a great idea to get in a truck with a random guy, right?
It was less of a good idea. There was more serial killers then than there was now.
So
and serial killers have disproportionately been truckers. It's one of the professions that attracts them because it provides a lot of autonomy.
Yeah.
You've got your own
all over
space. You can discard bodies
anywhere,
all over the place.
Yeah.
No. So it just probably was not as discussed then.
Right.
But it was a worse idea than now to get into a random trucker's truck.
And I'm like, oh, God. So that part of it, I was like, what a bummer of an inciting incident, right? It would have, I don't know how else they would have approached it, but okay, here we are. We've arrived here. However, subsequently, many of the things that Kurt did leading up to trying to find and eventually finding his wife, I was like, this is pretty smart. He's doing the best he can with the knowledge that he has. He's like, he gets to that dead end and the guy pulls out a gun and he's like, well, fuck this. I'll just reverse through the gate. Right. I'm like, oh, he didn't just get out of the car. You want to think that in that situation, that's what you would do. Right. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that feels good. My least favorite thing is when a character's downfall is by virtue of 1,000 terrible decisions in a row. Right. I hate that in a movie. I'm like, this takes me out of it. This did not feel like that for me, at least. I was like, oh. He's harried. He's in a frenzy to try to find his wife, and he's making some rash decisions, but none of them feel that's stupid, right? And I'm like, oh, this is good. I like that.
No, I think you're right. It was a good balance between like realism and hyper competence, because like it would have been if we had a Taken situation here where it's like, oh, you took the wrong guy's wife, I have a very specific set of skills,
Yeah.
That's not very believable or relatable for most people. I think the relatability of this movie was what it did best, and that it got that sense of unease and disquiet that you can feel when you're out in the middle of nowhere and somewhere you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
Somebody's supposed to meet you somewhere and they don't use the wall of missing persons flyers. They was very good at putting you into it. And I agree with you that they did a good job of making him make good choices and displaying a lot of competence, but not like a super unrealistic level of competence either. It was like some of the natural human reactions somebody would have mixed with somebody who is thinking on their feet pretty well. I mean, things like when he goes down to the bank and he gets out the money and he knows he doesn't have that money and he steals all of the 5,000 slips so that he can put them on the ones and make it look like more money than it is. That kind of stuff is very, or, just not freezing when he was cornered at the gate, like you said, and reversing through it instead of like capitulating to the person with the gun.
Yeah. Also in the bank when he goes into the restroom and he takes the stick off the plunger, but he doesn't come out with it. He hits it against his hand and you kind of see he's like, this is stupid. Like, what the fuck am I going to do with this thing? Right.
Yeah.
But then he gets the letter opener. And I'm like, much smarter. Like, I was like, that's great. I think they categorize this as like a thriller, which I would agree with, I guess, I'm like, this is okay. Like, again, not a series of dumb decisions. I buy this. Kind of, most of it.
And they did a good job of visually showing his thought process, like in that sequence you just said, where, he goes into the bathroom, he's looking for he takes the plunger, he tests it, doesn't work, he gets the, letter opener. Like, they don't have him do any of the lazy crutches, like talking to himself when he's alone or anything like that.
It's great. I love that part. Yeah, I think Kurt was great in this. Like, Kurt and JT Walsh. Well, JT Walsh is like one of those guys who's like, when he shows up in a thing, he's reliably great. He's
reliably great. And the fact that he plays into like the friendliness in the certain scenes makes it, because he's capable of being very like warm, and the way he plays into that makes you doubt stuff more, and it makes it creepier when he's just like
it's like
ruthlessly killing people all the time.
The duality of JT Walsh in this movie is like, when he's got his sunglasses on, you better not fuck with him, but when he's got his regular readers on, he's like a great guy. It's so fun. At the end of this, right, first of all, this is one of those, we're in the 90s and we have a 90-minute movie, which means that there is no denouement. Like, there is no, like, we don't get closure. It's just, the movie is just over. Like, when the thing happens, it's just over. And I'm like, man, I miss when movies did this. They don't give a fuck about the fallout for this guy's family, for this couple, like nothing.
No, we would definitely have a lot of movies made like this today would have some kind of epilogue moment.
Yeah.
And you don't need it. You don't need it. All the bad guys are eliminated.
Yep.
Everybody got their comeuppance for the murdering random strangers on the road. That they're probably going to get out of it fine as far as suspicion and stuff goes, because he did keep contacting the cops every chance he got.
He did. And he helped that
there
guy.
Is like he helped the one cop. That cop, if he survived, knew that could back up, because he told the whole story to him at that point.
Yeah.
And that cop was yelling at him to get down and didn't believe him, but he gave him the main bullet points.
Yes.
There is enough leaving of information along the way that he can prove his case when the cops eventually get there. And we know that all the state cops are mobilized now because they were all over the truck stop, right?
Yes.
So everything that happened on this road with the 3 cars chasing him and getting turned over in this is going to get them there eventually. That him and his wife are going to survive. And you don't need to have a scene that goes into all of that. I'm with you. I do like that. I like that they just leave it at JT Walsh is dead because she dropped the truck on him.
Officer, I swear to God, if you can piece this guy back together, you'll see it was the man from earlier. It was him. You just reminded me of a great point also. And I think it's a small thing, but it's a tiny bit of character growth that happens, like when Kurt first pulls JT Walsh over, and then he flags the cop down, and the cop, they do the search of the truck, and obviously everything had already been handed off or whatever. And then the cop asks her, like, did you get the license plate? Do you know the vehicle number? Any of that stuff? And Kurt's like, why would I, if my significant other was getting into a random car.
Random person's car. I would also, of course, in this day of cell phones, I would take a picture of it with my cell phone.
I would at least note the license plate down in some capacity.
Yeah.
However, later in the movie, like right during this chase where the cop, he's got the guy tied up in the seat next to him, right? Before he stops the car, he gets the location out of the guy. Like, where are you supposed to meet this guy? Like, he's not caught off guard anymore. Like, if he had stopped earlier, that guy would have died. He wouldn't have known where to go. Like, I was like, oh, this is all, he's like getting more intense. I like that. I was like, oh, that's good. That's a little bit of escalation.
As he's internalizing the stakes of what's happening, he's losing some of his like polite society restraints, right? Sure. Like he's torturing that guy. He would get in trouble for that if anybody else survived, but he's not going to because nobody survived. So like it doesn't matter. But yeah, even when he says like, where is she? And he goes, I don't know. He's like, okay, fine. Then were you meeting him?
Yeah.
Like
he's getting.
I'm not going to belabor that you probably don't actually know where she is, but like, where were you meeting then?
Yes. Overall, I feel I had like a great time with this movie. It didn't overstay its welcome, which is great. Again, if this was 20 minutes longer and we had seen the aftermath of stuff, I'd probably be like, come on. But like, it just ends with a hug.
They got in, they got out.
Yeah, a hug on a bridge, and it's like a helicopter shot. Like, roll credits. Like, oh, okay, cool. I think we talked about Kurt. I think he was great in this movie. Really enjoyed his performance quite a bit.
He was a good fit for this role and he carried it well. Like we said, demonstrating all the internal thinking and like being believably both like bewildered at times, but like competent and other, felt good performance.
It's good. I really enjoyed it. With that, I think there's probably one more question we need to ask.
Is he hiding this one? With me blinded deep in the flick that's currently on the screen. The hair is on point, the butt is real good. Whitney's wondering if she would. This watch and flexes my soles. She would not loophole curacao. Oh no, won't kick him out of bed for eating crackers and making a mess. Is he hiding this one?
Oh my
so
gosh.
Good.
Every time I hear it, I notice something new, like the little background vocals. Like, it's so good. So good.
And I'll say, sure.
In this movie, sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Like he's a nice looking man and he's got, some of the lighting and stuff is really good for like that very particular color of blue that his eyes are and stuff. Like, Claire's mom mentioned when he's up in the like loft of the barn and she's down below and she catches somebody's eyes through the thing and she's like, oh, well, that's my husband because nobody else has eyes like that.
Right.
Like that is, there's some of that was good, but there was like a office-y dad vibe about this character that doesn't particularly do it for me. So this is just in the general that, yes, Kurt Russell is an attractive man who looked good in this movie, but does not have any particular, like, zhuzh, sex appeal.
I 100% agree with you. I feel like it's like the khakis and the polo, both being very lightly colored, is such a pivot from where we saw him on just the last episode, right? That I'm like, I got a little bit of shell shock. Like, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this, right? I just saw Snake Plissken.
This like office-y, casual dad 90s look, it doesn't do much for anybody. I've never understood it. Like the where the pants are with the like pleat front, the like braided belts, and like his clothes fit him and everything, but they're not doing anything for his figure, like in this,
Yeah.
So it just, there was not a lot of oomph, to his, but yes. So that was my.
I think the hair also is like a little bit more, I don't know if the term is like, you tell me, but like, I want to say like voluminous, like, it's like,
it's
a little bit
body,
poofier?
But it's,
I don't know, like.
Yeah, it's like very yuppie hair, for the night. Like it's not, there's no edge to it in any direction. So it's fine,
Yeah. And again, if we're going with attitude, in the beginning, he is kind of like, very, very passive. Like the guy comes up, calls him a dumbass or whatever he says, like, And then he's like, we take off, and they're doing 70. He's like, I don't want that guy catching up to me. And then as he gets more, he becomes more assertive towards the end. And, he gets all dirtied and scratched up and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, all right, I get it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I think we both agree. It's like sure.
Yeah.
It's Kurt. Sure. And we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes from here. For the second episode in a row, I'm very excited to press this button.
Figure it out, asshole. We're gonna find out who's who.
I mean, I'd peg us at a D- for this kind of thing.
Keeping you at a disadvantage is an advantage I intend to keep.
Think you can win on talent alone? You don't have enough talent to win on talent alone.
I don't remember, okay?
Ask about horses again, I'll slap you red.
Hey! That was fun!
Oh my God. Figure It Out, Asshole is our very own quiz show where the host will ask each of us 3 questions. If one of us gets the answer wrong, the other has a chance to steal, assuming they remember the remaining answers, which if you listen to the last episode, and there was a series of numbers at one point, and it was just like, just grab onto one and hope for the best.
Look, Charles knows if they want to get us, it is numbers and sports. That's what they have to.
What the hell? Why did I play my hand so early? Either way.
We are helpless when it comes to numbers and sports.
Unbelievable. And with that, I'd like to introduce our master of ceremonies, coming to you live from the void. It's Charles Nolan.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Charles. Good to hear from you again after your
Good to hear
vacation.
from you.
What do you think? Did you think Kurt Russell is hot in this one?
I'd say he looked like a B-tier dad in this one.
B-tier.
Wow, not even an A-tier dad. That's harsh. But understandable, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think the polo wasn't doing him any favors.
No.
Okay.
Very neatly tucked into his khakis.
Yeah. If his cell phone wasn't so big, he would have had a cell phone holster.
That is the truth.
Little Motorola thing, or what's it? What Nextels with the beep, or all? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the 90s. All right, Charles.
I was there.
Take us away whenever you're ready.
All right, let's get down to Figure It Out, Asshole. Question number 1 goes to Lindsay. What handle does Earl suggest for Jeff after advising he get a CB radio? Was it shit for brains, dumbass, asshole, or world's worst driver?
Shit for brains.
That is correct.
Nice. A couple of those were very tempting for me. I went for that one, but I was like, I think that's right. Good.
Question number 2 goes to Andrew.
All right.
Along with Yoo-Hoo and Moon Pies, what snack food did Amy pick up from the gas station? Was it Twinkies, Swiss rolls, Snowballs, or Junior Mints?
God damn it. I want to say Snowballs.
That is correct.
I was so ready to steal that one.
You said Twinkies, it threw me. I was like, I thought I saw Twinkies, but I don't know if she said Twinkies. Okay.
Back over to Lindsay. What is the name of the diner Jeff goes to after he gets the car working again? Is it Tanya's Diner, Bell's Diner, Frank's Diner, or Jenny's Diner?
Bell's.
Bell's is correct.
Dang, we're Lindsay crushing it. Okay.
That's what happens when I watch the movie close to recording time.
We watched it a month ago, and we are recording now. Okay.
It's happened more than once.
Yep. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Moving on to Andrew. What kind of tractor-trailer truck does Red drive?
Oh.
Is it a Tamiya King Hauler, a Mack Freightliner, a Kenworth T2000, or a Peterbilt 377?
You just said, okay, so another one of my blind spots in life is, I don't know what the hell, truck, what separates. So I glommed onto Mack Freightliner, Freightliner? That sounds good. Let's go with that one.
That is incorrect.
Damn
it. Kenworth?
That is incorrect.
Oh no. First void point. Okay.
I'm sorry. I believe that is the second void point of the episode.
Wait, was it?
You
the
made one
accidental
earlier.
void point.
Oh, that doesn't. Oh. That's fair. And now I can't edit that mistake out. Interesting. Uh-huh.
The correct answer was Peterbilt 377.
Okay.
Moving on to Lindsay. What number is spray painted inside Red's truck? Is it 25702, 75022, 50272, or 02725?
I hate this so much.
25702?
That is correct.
Oh my God. Well done. Did you know that? Or was that just like you grabbed the number?
That was the one that rung a bell for me. Like, if you had just asked me what the spray painted number was, I wouldn't have been able to, like, say it. But that was the one that, like, rung a bell. So I stuck with that one.
Good job.
Well done. Andrew.
Here we go.
Which of the cast did Kurt Russell say is probably his favorite American actor?
Oh.
Was it MC Gainey, J.T. Walsh, Jack Noseworthy, or Kathleen Quinlan?
Oh, that's a great one. They're all great. I'm going to say MC Gainey.
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Steele?
Lindsay.
JT Walsh?
JT Walsh is correct.
Should have went with that. It seemed obvious. It was a juke. God damn it. Okay.
Moving on to Lindsay. The Coca-Cola can the deputy is seen drinking when Jeff reports Amy missing is advertising what? Is it the Chicago Bulls, the Olympic Games, the Dallas Cowboys, or Amtrak?
The Olympic Games?
That is correct.
Nice. 96, I guess?
96.
Yeah. That's why I chose that too. I did not remember that. I just figured based on the era.
Amazing.
Andrew.
Here we go.
What's the amount of money Amy and Jeff claim to have in their bank account?
$90,000.
That is correct.
Yes! Donuts and dollars. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Charles. I was very excited to answer that one.
I get excited when my players are excited. Moving on to Lindsay. Which of these actors was not considered for the lead role?
Ooh.
Was it Ed Harris, Richard Gere, Bill Pullman, or Bruce Willis?
Ed Harris?
That is incorrect.
Steele.
Andrew.
This is purely a guess. Obviously, they're all pure guesses anyway. I'm going to say Bill Pullman.
That is correct.
Yes. Maybe because he was doing Independence Day. That was my only thought, but I don't know. But it's around this time, so maybe.
Maybe. Moving on to Andrew.
Okay.
What is the name of the bank that they send Jeff to? Is it the First Brackett Bank, Brackett Savings and Loan, Brackett County Bank, or Brackett Commerce Bank?
First Brackett Bank.
That is incorrect.
Steele?
Lindsay.
Brackett Commerce Bank?
That is correct.
Damn it. Okay.
Moving on to Lindsay. How much did it cost to make a phone call on the payphone where they call Jeff after he leaves the bank? Was it 15 cents, 20 cents, 25 cents, or 30 cents?
20 cents.
20 cents is correct.
Wow. Did you know that for reals?
Yeah, that one I remembered.
Dang. I was not looking at the payphone. I don't know what I was looking at, but it wasn't that. Probably Kurt. Look at this beta
Final
dad.
question.
Sorry.
Yes. For the final question of regulation, figure it out, asshole. Andrew.
I'm ready.
What is Red's real name?
Oh.
Is it Warren, Benjamin, Theodore, or Peter?
Yeah. Oh boy. Here's what I'll say. The credits did not help because he is credited as Red. Benjamin?
That is incorrect.
Damn it.
Steele?
Lindsay.
Warren?
Warren is correct.
Wow. Okay. Damn. Get my ass kicked.
His wife calls him Warren several times.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is me obsessing about the female characters or lack thereof in the movie.
Now we move on to our bonus round of 3 questions that are not posed to any one player. The players buzz in to see who can get the question right first. Let's hear those buzzer sounds, starting with Lindsay.
Ding, ding, ding.
And Andrew.
Ring.
Yeah, you all mixed it up last time. I got new buzzer sounds. I'm sticking with my classic.
I love it.
I just wanted to see what would happen, and this is where I landed. It's good.
I enjoy it.
Bonus round question number 1. What had Mrs. Gilbert done that the sheriff was specifically asked to help with? Had she locked herself out of her trailer, lost her dog, gotten turned around, or stolen some bread?
Ding, ding, ding.
Lindsay.
Locked herself out of her trailer.
That is correct.
Nice. I thought that was it. Yeah.
Question number 2. Time to get the show on the road. How many more minutes left? Is it 49, 48, 47, or 46?
Ding, ding, ding.
Lindsay.
46.
That is incorrect.
Ring.
Andrew.
I'm going to go 49.
That is correct.
I just went the opposite direction.
And for the final question of Figure It Out, Asshole. What video game do we see being played in the farmhouse? Is it Pong, Doom, Duke Nukem, or Wolfenstein?
Ring.
Andrew.
You really confused me with those last 3 because they are very similar, but I think it was Doom.
That is correct.
Yes. My boy Deke playing Doom at dawn.
Doom at dawn. Deke playing Doom at dawn.
Classic.
It's very alliterative.
Very.
Amazing.
Well, great job, players, on a fantastic game. The Void finished with 2 points, one of them given before the game even began.
Damn.
In a score of 9-5, Dolly Parton would be proud.
Ooh.
Lindsay comes out the victor.
You were meant to be here tonight.
There it is. Do your victory lap,
Dolly.
you know?
Yep.
A little behind the scenes action on the last episode. We did not have live sound like this, and so we were all just faking it. That's how the sausage is made, you know?
Just sitting quietly for the length of the song.
This song is like 6 minutes long. I faded out. But that'd be very funny if you were like, I'd like to take the entirety of the song, please.
Yeah, no, this is my victory lap. I want everybody to listen for 6 minutes.
That's fair. That's fair.
That would be great.
Quality podcasting.
I don't know why. The reviews went down even more after this episode. I don't know why.
And now it's time for Figure It Out Audience, where the audience gets to play along. Last episode, I asked 2 questions, which were, question number 1, how long has Hershey been in L.A.? The correct answer to that was 7 years. And that was correctly guessed by Lane Train and by Claire.
Lane Train and Claire. The OGs.
Well done to both of you. The second question was, what sort of band does Map of the Stars Eddie look like he's a part of?
Forgot about that.
Lane Train says, the band Fastball. That is correct. We also would have accepted ska.
Fastball. What a pull.
What a pull. Congratulations to both of our winners for Figured Out Audience for the last episode. And now, it's time for this episode's questions. Question number 1. What does Amy say is busted on the car when they have a breakdown? And question number 2. What does Red give Deke when he's putting the truck away? You can tweet to me at @TheCharlesNolan if you think you know the answer, or just join us in the Discord and tag me in the response. And if you're right, you'll get called out in the next episode of Figured Out Audience.
This part of the show, this is where all the magic happens, I think, you know? There's everything before this, and then there's everything after this, and then there's this, you know?
Yeah.
Charles, it's because of you.
Andrew, that's very kind of you to say.
What do you have plans post podcast to, you know, what happens in the void? I'm infinitely curious.
There are infinite options in the void. I believe what I will be doing right now after podcasting is going to be making more trivia.
Oh my gosh. Okay. right back at it. All right. I liked it. Well, as always, thank you for the work that you put into this. It's much appreciated and so much fun.
Thank you for having me. I enjoy this so much.
All right. Well, I bid you a good void.
And a good void to the two of you.
That Charles.
Yep.
A lot of energy.
There's the light. Yep.
A lot of energy. The show, the tone of the show, it's like when we dovetail into Is He Hot in this one? It's like a 1-2 punch. Like, is he hot in this one?
Yep.
Figure it out. It's something special.
Yes, definitely the bubbles in the champagne of our podcast.
Well put. I think we will run down the plot of this film as according to Wikipedia here. If you have anything that you want to add, Lindsay, along the way, please just chime in, stop me, and
will do.
We'll make it happen. Here we go. Again, I love the superfluous detail. This one starts off with a great one. Here we go. While driving from Boston to San Diego in their new Jeep Grand Cherokee. What is this, an advertisement? Come on. This is Wikipedia. Jeff Taylor and his wife Amy narrowly avoid colliding with a beat-up pickup truck in Arizona. At a gas station, Earl, the truck's driver, angrily confronts Jeff. Shortly after the couple resume their trip, their car breaks down on a desolate road, leaving Jeff with the Jeep. Amy accepts a ride from a passing tractor-trailer driver to get to a nearby diner and call for help. Jeff eventually discovers that someone tampered with the Jeep's battery connections, and after reconstructing them, drives to the diner and discovers that no one has seen Amy. Jeff sees the trucker on the road and forces him to stop. However, the trucker claims he has never seen Jeff or Amy. Jeff then hails Boyd, a passing sheriff, but a brief search of the truck yields no sign of Amy. The trucker, Red Bar, is allowed to leave, and Boyd tells Jeff to see the deputy sheriff in the town of Brackett. We're all good so far. A lot happened in that little bit of time.
Yeah.
So after speaking with the deputy, Jeff returns to the diner, and Billy, a mentally impaired mechanic, informs Jeff that Amy left with some men but refuses to speak with the police, claiming they are involved. This was the little ruse that I sort of got caught up in, but that's okay. Jeff rushes
at that moment, it's a believable possibility because there's clearly like a conspiracy of people.
There's something happening here. Oh, I wanted to note, I just remembered this when I thought this was very funny. There are little tiny bits of humor, very small, sprinkled throughout this movie. I thought one of them, it's a throwaway line, but it's great. It made me laugh. when Jeff is describing his wife Amy to the diner owner, he describes her physical appearance like brunette, short hair or whatever. And then he says she's wearing a white Benetton shirt or some white Benetton
sweater,
whatever. And when he announces it to the diner, the guy's like, a white button-up shirt. And I was like, that's great. Very funny. Yeah. Small things. Jeff returns to the diner. Okay, good. Refuses to speak. Okay. Jeff rushes to the location Billy mentioned, which was at like the end of this, like a river, I think he said, somewhere near a river, but is ambushed on a back road by Earl. He escapes by driving his Jeep into the river and then swimming away. Jeff circles back to watch Earl and another accomplice, Al, pull his Jeep out of the water. He is then discovered and knocked out by Billy, who told him to go there. So he was in on it the whole time. When Jeff awakens, he is confronted by Billy, who feigned mental impairment earlier, and Earl. Their leader is Red Barr, who wants the $90,000 in Jeff's bank account in exchange for Amy's life, ordering him to withdraw the money in the nearby town of Brackett. Realizing he only has $5,000 in his account, Jeff attempts to alert the bank manager of the situation. However, he's a little paranoid that Red's group is watching him, and I think that guy was. I don't know. Just seemed a little too convenient that there's this guy sitting right across from the bank manager, right?
I mean, he did say that, like, we'll be watching.
Yeah.
And so far, he's run across people at, like, basically every location who's been in on it, except actually the police station. So totally reasonable to be afraid of it, even if that wasn't actually a plant.
Yeah.
But that is part of the, beauty of getting somebody freaked out like that, is you have them second guessing, like, who's working with you and who isn't.
Yeah. It could have been that guy was just there for like an auto loan or whatever he said, but we'll never know. We'll never know. Jeff abandons the idea of trying to get the bank manager to help and steals money, it says money marked ribbons, but like the ribbons they wrap around stacks of bills to indicate how much that stack is worth, and a letter opener. He uses the money ribbons to pack stacks of $1 bills between 200s, right? Very smart, very smart. We talked about it. It's great.
Yeah, good move.
Jeff is then instructed to leave town, where Earl picks him up and binds him with duct tape. Earl begins gloating about how Jeff and his wife were easy targets, how he tampered with their Jeep, and that his group intends to kill them anyway. Jeff frees himself with the letter opener and stabs Earl. Jeff takes over the vehicle. He binds Earl with more duct tape.
I will say,
Yeah.
At the point where he's mocking him about that should teach you to leave your hood open when you go into this, the gas station, the wires were on the bottom of the car. When he fixed it, after his wife had already got it with the trucker, that you didn't need the hood open to do that.
That's true. He just reached under the front and pulled whatever was there,
apart. Yeah.
That seemed like
didn't even cut them or anything, just like unplugged them, because Kurt Russell could just plug them back together and it worked fine.
Yeah. I mean, when you looked at that set of wires, like that shot it looked like it was much more serious than it didn't look like you could just be able to plug those back in, but apparently you can. I
did find that whole thing a little because they got pretty far going pretty fast before the car shut down.
Yeah.
So what did you do exactly? Because if that was an important piece enough to shut down the whole engine, you wouldn't have been able to leave the gas station.
That's true.
Right? Something where you cut a notch in a hose or something that is weakening it, but it's going to take a little while for it to blow out would make much more sense than unplugging some stuff, because then it's not going to go at all, or you're not going to be able to count on it failing at a certain distance.
That's true. You got to blame it on computers, man. These cars and the computers, technology, son of a.
Anyways, when I was watching that scene, I was like, you didn't need the hood open for that. So
yeah, that's a good call out. It's a good call out. After Jeff takes over the vehicle, he ties Earl up with duct tape, which is good. And then he tortures, that's not good, but it's good to, be in control of the situation, I guess.
Sure.
And then he tortures him to reveal his rendezvous with Red at a local truck stop. They pass Boyd, the sheriff from earlier, who sees that they're speeding and they're all over the road and everything like that. And then he attempts to, then they stop the vehicle, right? When Jeff exits the truck, he's holding Earl's gun. Boyd mistakes the situation and forces him to lie down. Earl frees himself and shoots Boyd with another gun that he had in his like boot or whatever. Before Earl can then shoot Jeff, a wounded Boyd, again, a lot of names here, the sheriff shoots and kills the bad guy. Jeff uses Boyd's radio to call for an ambulance, and then he rushes off to the truck stop. At the stop, Jeff stows away under the trailer of Red's truck. This was fucking nuts. I don't know what that spot...
Very speed adjacent scene.
I don't know what that... Is that for holding a tire where he was?
I don't know what that is. I do know that I've seen structures like that under trucks, but I'm not versed enough to know like what that's supposed to be for.
Yeah. You would think, right? You know, like, oh, that's maybe, I don't know what the hell you would put there, but it's like somebody looked at it and was like, it'd be really cool if we did an action scene and a person was on that, you know?
Yeah.
Then there's also, while this is happening and the truck is moving and he's on that part, like someone drives by and like a kid looks at him. I was like, that was very National Lampoon's Vacation. You know, I got big vibes of Christmas Vacation or something like that. Anyway.
I thought he was just going to be hanging there for the whole ride. He climbs around like to get in between the cab and the
second worst
trailer.
idea in the whole movie. Second worst idea of the movie, right? It's like the first was getting in the truck. The second one is like, just stay there. Like maybe it's, I don't know.
Too hard to hang on, because he did get to a place where he could like sit, which was behind the cab where the hitch to the trailer
That's
is.
true. It just felt...
But I did think it was very risky, unnecessarily climbing around the truck like that.
Yeah, yeah. And he lost the gun, but he's there.
They wanted the tension of like Red almost seeing him in the mirror a couple times. I swear that's the whole reason he did that.
That's true. That's true. We just wanted to make sure... We wanted to get JT Walsh a couple extra shots at this point. So that's okay. That's okay. Well done. Early the next morning, Red arrives at his farm. Jeff sneaks into the barn, discovering evidence that Red and his accomplices have a history of robbing and killing tourists, and that his real name is Warren. Damn it, I should have read the Wikipedia before we did pop quiz. Damn it. Al and Billy arrive with a bound and gagged Amy, who they lock in a freezer in the barn's cellar, right? It's a very disturbing barn, okay? Just gotta say. Big Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It's not hard to make a barn creepy.
Yeah.
Like, barns have a very quick tipping point into creepy. You put a little too much stuff in there, and it's immediately...
What is the wife doing where she's not noticing that there are just piles of license plates? Maybe she doesn't go in the barn. I probably wouldn't go in the barn.
I mean, maybe she just doesn't go in the barn.
Yeah.
That was another thing that reminded me of the duel, because they're the semi-truck that the tanker truck that he gets in the duel with has a bunch of license plates across the front of it. That's like the belt notches of every time that he's done this before.
That's very ominous. I know. That's pretty good telegraphing. I like that. We have this freezer in a barn cellar, which is just super extra creepy. You open this door in the floor of the barn, you go down some steps, open,
there's
and then
a
there's a
freezer
down there. Come on, that's crazy. Unable to open the cellar door, Jeff finds a gun and demands the cellar key from Red. This is what we were talking about earlier. He kind of makes his way into Red's home, where his wife and kid are, as well as the other two guys. This is really kind of wonderfully lit. We're coming up on like dusk, so that, you know, it's just... This was a really cool part of the movie.
It was. And the lighting in this part is incredible.
Yeah, they really crushed it there. Because, you know, you're in a strange house, right? And the feeling, it was like palpable. Like he doesn't know where anything is. It was really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Deke comes in to defend his parents with a rifle. Kurt Russell slaps it out of the kid's hand and regains control of the situation or whatever. Billy escapes. Billy's like, boom, out the door. Jeff forces Red to release Amy, exposing him in the process. So the wife is like, what the hell's going on here? Warren? Why is there a woman in the basement?
I mean, I would have liked a bigger reaction out of her, though, because you get like a look, and that's it.
There is a strange person comes into your house and has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm asking questions. He doesn't ask questions. I'm the wife. I'm asking questions. I'm like, who is this? He seems to know you, Warren. Why? Who is this guy?
You seem to not be surprised by him.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's just really bizarre.
I mean, I get that people have dispositions and she's got a gun pointed at her and she just could be in shock, but I would have liked a little bit more reaction from the wife with like, why do you have a woman in our chest freezer?
Right. I want a divorce. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
So he gets Amy out of this little cellar situation and puts Red and his family down there. He kicks him in the kicks Red in the face and he falls down this cellar. It's actually a very satisfying moment overall. Jeff and Amy steal a pickup truck and flee. So they skipped over something that I thought was really kind of a cool part. They run to this
the trailer. There's a pickup truck near the trailer and they don't find keys in the pickup truck. So they run into the trailer to try and find them.
Yeah.
Also, they're being shot at.
And when he drives his truck through the trailer, like in an attempt to kill them both, I was like, that's pretty cool. That was like, I don't know if that's what I would have did, but that's pretty cool.
I do think it does a good job of communicating that they've pushed him to like a no going back point now, right? Because he's been doing this clearly. They reference having done this multiple times before. You know, this is the most trouble they've ever had with one of these. This is what happens when you don't get them both at the same time. All of the license plates, all of the missing person posters, they have been doing this, right? It's like, true. This is not even the third time. This is like the 24th time. And just the fact that he is now, you've exposed him to his family, he is like no holds barred anymore. Yeah. And I do think that driving his truck like straight through the trailer home and stuff, trying to get it communicates that well.
Yeah, it was great. It was a pretty spectacular, they caught it at like just the last minute and it was like a dive out of the way of where he struck, but really, really drove through, looked like a semi really driving through a trailer.
Really drove through a trailer. Yeah.
It was really, I was like, oh, not CG. Like we were doing the thing. So pretty
always
cool.
When there's a take like that, I'm always like, unless you bought 4 trailers, you had like one go at that, and the nervousness of setting up that shot, right? Because like,
how many angles?
You can't reset.
Yeah, how many angles can we get? Realistically, how many film cameras can we get for this? So Jeff and Amy they find the keys to this pickup that's adjacent to the trailer that they were in. They flee. Billy returns. Wait a minute. Okay, Billy returns to free his accomplices. No, not really. That happened. Like, Billy went back to the house after he sees them running away, frees them from the basement. That allows him to get his truck, do the thing, right?
Then they all go chasing them in their individual cars.
I thought that was a pretty cool setup where, like, we see Billy come up on the passenger side of the truck. He's shooting, like, a rifle or something. Then they bump, and then they go to the left, and that other dude is, like, now on the driver's side. And then he slams on the brakes to kind of do one of those maneuvers. And the guy in the, JT Walsh's character is behind them in the big rig. And I was like, this is cool. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some good scenes in this bit.
Yeah. During this pursuit, Billy is killed in an explosion. It doesn't seem like that. I don't know why the car exploded, but it does.
Yeah, that was in the era of you shoot a car and it immediately blows up.
Every bullet that hits a car, it nails a gas tank. It doesn't matter if you hit it in the front or the back. It's done.
Doesn't matter where you're shooting it. Doesn't matter what caliber of gun. You shoot a car in the 90s and it blows up.
Shortly after the trailer from Red's truck detaches, this was really cool. It began to like jackknife. And it was basically
going hard. He's fast on like mountain roads.
Yeah,
it was that cool. Moment when it does start to jackknife, like you said, and he goes, "Oh God!" Like in the trailer, like he is minutes ago trying to run them down with this truck, and then reality hits him for just that minute.
He's like, "Uh-oh, this is getting out of hand here." It jackknifes to the point where it unhitches itself. It falls over in the road, and then I guess Al, the other guy, crashes into it. The other bad guy crashes into it, and the car goes flipping ass over elbows. It's great. It's crazy. Undeterred, Red attempts to push Jeff and Amy's vehicle off of a bridge with his truck, trapping Amy's leg underneath the dashboard. Jeff rushes out of the vehicle and into Red's tractor, where a struggle over the steering wheel forces Red's truck over the edge. This is a huge bridge. Does this bridge exist, Lindsay, do you think? I mean, this just seems, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous bridge for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's over a river that is usually, it's there. And it's, like I said, this is San Gorgonio River, I'm pretty sure, based on like the roads that they are talking about and also just recognizing it. Which it can be pretty wide and fast flowing, but it's not usually very deep. unless it's like the flood. So the fact that it's like the part where he was swimming was like deeper than most of it actually is. This part right here where he goes down on the rocks, but if he was standing in it, it would only be like knee deep is what most of the river is like.
Got it. All right.
But it does have, you are going up into the mountains, so the roads you do get like high, bridges and stuff.
Across okay. All right, that tracks. Yeah. That tracks. Long story short, the truck is fully off of the road. It's only being held up because like a bridge support, like the rail support is wedged under what I think is like the back axle of the truck. It's very precarious, right? Red attacks Jeff with a chain until Jeff abruptly catches the chain. And then there's a very funny moment where
like a very Wile E. Coyote moment.
Right. I didn't want to say that, but that's 100%. It was like, it was almost like you could hear Red blink, like bling, 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 right?
Yeah.
And Kurt just pulls him right off the top of this rig. He falls what I would describe as a killing distance to the rocks below, but we'll get there in a second. Jeff frees Amy from the dashboard.
I still didn't really think he'd probably be walking away from that, but she just wants to make sure.
Yeah. Jeff eventually climbs up off of this very precarious dangling truck, frees Amy from the dashboard area, right? And they look over.
Gets him out of the car.
Yeah, they look over, and you see Red on the rocks in the like shallow water rock situation.
One of his legs is clearly broken.
Oh, there's blood behind his head.
He's coughing up blood.
Yeah,
there's blood behind his head.
But
he's still alive, but he's...
He opens his eyes. I wouldn't have did that if I was him. But hey, what do I know? Amy, like Lindsay said earlier, she's like, fuck this guy. At some point, the truck and their pickup that they escaped in became entangled. So she kicks this thing into, I guess, neutral. And it just...
Yeah, it's the gear that she pulls. So.
Yeah. And it just drops Red's truck directly onto him. It is center mass. He is done. He's done.
Crushed between the rock and the cab of his semi.
Yeah. The Wikipedia entry ends, sitting on the edge of the bridge, Jeff and Amy embrace each other, waiting for the police to arrive. And then the movie just ends.
We don't even hear a siren.
No.
Like, it's just them on the bridge, by the rail, by the crushed, and then we know they're alive. We know all the bad guys are dead.
Yeah, that's it.
End.
I don't need all that extra stuff. I just assume the police will show up and this will all get sorted.
I assume too, like I said, they do enough. He's talked to the police at every time. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But I do think it would be funny if the police just didn't show up and then they've been waiting there for 45 minutes and they're like, okay, at some point we're going to have to make the decision to walk out of here.
Right. Will another car pass ever? Or are they all stuck behind this jackknife trailer down the road?
Yeah, because there were the jackknife and the two other cars exploding, I'm sure the cops are on their way, even if they're not putting any of the other stuff together. But yeah, they're just out. Movie ends.
Which tractor does this trailer belong to? God damn it. We gotta get into pursuit here. It was pretty good. Lindsay, this is very exciting. Do you recommend this film?
Yeah.
Good.
This is a definite, you are ordering Chinese food for yourself and you want to watch something while you both wait for and then consume your Chinese food. Yeah. This is that kind of movie.
I love when you and your sister come up with these scenarios where a movie would slot into, and they are always appropriate for that scenario. I would agree with you. I had fun. I mean, not fun. Insofar as I was entertained by this movie.
Right. It took you on a ride.
Yeah.
You followed and enjoyed the ride.
It's quick, right? It's not great. It's not bad. I kind of agree with the person who wrote the audience review that they don't really make movies like this anymore. I don't know how much this movie costs. It's certainly not like a multi-$100 million affair. Mm-hmm. It's just this kind of $10 to $30 million thriller that, is in, out, and done.
Yeah, no, until you get to the last half hour of this movie, it would be pretty cost effective.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
this is when you start getting to the blowing up vehicles things and pushing stuff off a bridge that it gets a little pricey.
Sure, we know where the money went. We know where it went.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like it. So it's a remnant of a bygone era, and I really found it enjoyable. So Lindsey, this is my favoriteest part, my third favoriteest thing after Figure It Out, and then Is He Hot, and then this is my third favorite thing. Where are you going to put this in your Kurt Russell movie ranking?
So I think that this is going to go between Silkwood and Backdraft.
Okay, knocking Backdraft out. Okay.
Yeah, because I think I had some issues with the pacing and stuff on Backdraft. Really beautiful special effects and stuff, but I think this is paced a little better. So I'm going to put, between Silkwood and Backdraft.
That's amazing. That puts it at your number 7 spot, which is good. Still top 10, still very effective.
I actually think it might be my number 8 because I'll slot in Escape from LA between Stargate and Tombstone.
Oh, there we go. Okay, let's do that. That's very exciting. See? Look at this. We're getting it done. Okay.
And what about you? Where's this going in your...
I'm going to put this right after Tombstone and just above Stargate. So it's actually going to go in my number 8 spot also.
So very similar, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
in a similar zone.
Yeah, I would put it there just because, like, I had talked about it on the last one when I made the unhinged decision to put Escape from LA at number 3. Just like a rewatchability thing. Like, I don't live in a time or a situation where, like, the TV is just on playing. But this feels like a movie where... if the TV was on and it just happened to come on like Encore or something, I'd be like, oh, it's Breakdown. I'll watch this,
Yeah, no, I think you could do that. It wouldn't be one that I would consciously put on for background noise because it is mostly like...
just a lot of grunts and...
running around and tire screeching and, Kurt non-verbally testing out weapons, so it's not like the best background movie.
Exactly.
And I don't know that the rewatchability is super high. Like I like you're saying, if you're watching something and it comes on Encore, you're like, oh yeah, Breakdown. But it's not one that I think has a lot to like dig into on multiple viewings.
Yeah, there's nothing, you'll learn nothing of value on a rewatch. It's all unveiled to you. It's all very surface level. So there is that. If anything on my list that might drop down maybe, but for right now it feels good, like right there in that like number 8 spot. So that's where I'm right there with you. I'm gonna put it like right there. All right. Next week is the final film of season 3, which has been the longest season of any podcast ever, I think, probably. This one, season 3.
Yeah, certainly the amount of time that it is covered.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about the film Soldier. I think Eric will be joining us on that episode, if I'm not mistaken. Lindsey, have you seen Soldier?
I have not seen Soldier.
Yeah. This is one of those, I think I talked with Eric about this, and maybe Whitney also. I can't remember, but I don't know if I've seen this because there were a run of these types of movies in the 90s. And I don't know if I saw the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme or this one with Kurt Russell, or what it even is, right? I don't know if this is like a sci-fi movie or like something like Jarhead, or The Hurt Locker. Yeah. I don't know.
It is in that kind of like Executive Decision could have been like, wait, which president on which plane, which president, which whatever movie is that? Yeah. The Soldier has that similar like, which one is this?
Exactly.
I can't remember.
So I'll be able to determine, but as of right now, I'm going to say, no, I haven't seen this movie, but I'm interested in it. As with all of them, I go in cautiously optimistic. It's Kurt Russell, so how bad could it be? Is what I always say.
Isn't this the only movie that he says that he ever worked out for?
Yeah, and I saw some promo images from this one, and he is in what I would describe as like he's in shape. Like, not that he's never out of shape, but like...
No, but I'm just curious what like intentionally putting on muscle for a movie looked like for Kurt Russell,
Yeah, this is the one. Like there are actors that, what am I thinking of here? I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And you're like Hugh Jackman. You're like, this dude, if you looked at him when he was first Wolverine in the first movie and you look at him now, you're like, that is unbelievable. That over 20...
Yeah, well, there's
He's using steroids.
There's 100%, yes. I was going to say chemical intervention happening at this point.
But still, I was like, that is, you can't just take steroids. There's still work involved. And I'm like, that is an unbelievable transformation. So I'm not suggesting that Kurt used steroids I don't know. I don't even really remember. I'm just saying that.
I'm not personally a fan of that look. I think Hugh Jackman looked a lot better when he was like humanly buff.
Hugh Jackman looked the best in The Prestige, where he had a top hat.
Which I was also in, and I got to see him in his underwear.
I knew that about you. I remember you had said that about The Prestige. I'll have to. Okay, that's great. You get to see him in his undies, though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they were putting a harness on him for one scene, so he was in his underwear to put the harness on. But he was a delight on that movie. He was a very sweet, charming guy to work with.
I love to hear that, because by all rights, he could probably be an asshole and,
No, he just made time on set go by so fast because he was just really charming, and between takes was always like chatting or tap dancing or whatever. Would talk to whoever was next to him, whether it was Christopher Nolan or like a PA. It didn't matter.
That's amazing. He truly is the greatest showman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he was very charming. Christian Bale, I also thought was very nice. It was known, you hear some stories about Christian Bale, but Christian Bale does stay in character during the day. So he'll like say hello to you in the morning and goodbye at night, but otherwise doesn't talk like out of character for the rest of the day.
Wow.
So
that's intense. That's it. God bless him. That's a way to work, I guess, but
we've all got our own process.
Sure. Good for them.
His acting career is certainly going better than mine, so I'm not gonna.
I mean, hey, what, he's Batman. I don't know what to say. He's Batman.
Right. Yeah.
Lindsey, this has been great as always.
A delight.
If people want to find and keep up with you on the internet, where might they do that?
You can find me on Instagram, where I'm Lindsey Cameron Nelson. It is all gelato, so check that out. This month, Winnie the Pooh themed gelatos. Next month, Major Arcana of Tarot card themed gelatos. So
fascinating. I saw the one this month. It's like honey, right? It's like a crystal, like a honey crystal or something. Am I right about that?
Yeah. So there's one. I think you're talking about the bees.
The bees. That's the one. Yes.
The bees has hot honey and bee pollen. And it is decorated with a piece of honeycomb on top.
Yes. So, I was like, it looks pretty good.
I like that one a lot.
I like that one. That was great. I don't really use social media anymore. I don't plan on changing that. I feel pretty happy about my decision.
No, I think that's a healthy life decision.
Yeah. I might pop in to yell on Twitter about a thing or talk shit about JD Vance or whatever. And, that's great.
Mm-hmm. Make a couch joke.
Yeah, just make a, a heterosexual man, JD Vance,
The Ottoman Empire is his Roman Empire.
Yeah, the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Amazing. But I am on the 12 and 24 Discord, which is aforementioned. There'll be a link to it in the show notes, or go to 12and24.com/Discord. It'll get you there.
We're all there.
We're all there.
Talk to all
I'm in there. I'm in there every day. I spend a lot of time on Discord, and I've curated my life to do that because I have my own Discord that is separate from this, where I have clients, so I could talk to my clients. We do some real-time async type work and stuff like that. And that's just how I've built my life. I'm like, this is great. I can just fuck around on Discord and, in a way get paid for it, which is nice. So find me on there. That'll be great.
We're all there. Charles is there from The Void.
That's where you can answer the questions for Figure It Out.
Lane Train and Claire and Zoe and all of the, yes.
James popped in.
James is there.
He popped in. He said 2 lines and he's like, I'm going back to Lurkin, and put the funniest gif in history of I don't know what the hell it was, an antelope or something. I was like, this is great. I was like, James is always here, just watching, just lurking. I love that. So you could come be a lurker too, or participate, whatever you're into. Do that. All right. I'm going to press this button again. Oh, live music. You'll love to hear it. So
that's great.
Thank you all for joining us. Lindsey, thank you for joining us. Joining me, us, whatever, the royal us. And in the immortal words of Jack Burton, sit tight. Hold the fort. Keep the home fires burning.
Don't get in trucks with strangers.